Right now, we're going to talk a little pitching. And this guy is a sensation on social media. Really just nerds out, geeks out on pitching. He's a guy I can imagine would have a lot of conversations right here at the network. He's talking to John Smoltz or Al Leiter. He is the pitching ninja on Twitter. He is Rob Friedman. Rob, it's Brian Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be here, BK.
Good. We could talk a little baseball. First of all, you have become this sensation. How did you start? What's your level of interest in? Let me get into explain to people. You do specific pitches in short, digestible chunks and put it out on Twitter. How did you get started doing exactly that?
So I really got started from the coaching angle. I was coaching a lot of kids and kind of taught myself pitching. And over the years, I realized I wasn't going to coach forever and ever. So I started sharing more and more of it on social media, and it just took off. I mean, just little things that I would learn that I didn't feel other people would have the time to research. So I did it, and it's all been cool since then.
I know you have over 250,000 followers on Twitter, and I know it's all the piece in the Times, New York Times. Congratulations, well done. You're in the papers, but you got into it there. Why it is kind of popular on social media because it's very quick. Look at this pitch. Look at this pitch. And then you're done. Is that part of the success where it's just it's quick, it's cool, and then you're done?
I think so. I think people don't like being lectured to. They like to see cool things, but I try to teach through each video too. So it's more about kind of showing either what's cool in the game, kind of why hitters fail, what pitchers are trying to do, and all that in just a little snippet. And I think that's probably why it's been successful.
You've done it two at a time, but people don't like being lectured? Is that what you're trying to say? That's odd.
I think they don't.
What do you mean? That's all we're doing on this show. We want to show people examples because it has happened as the reverse engineering of major league pitchers has begun, where they're designing their own pitches. So we're seeing some explosive stuff. Let's give people some examples here, Rob. Here's Lucas Giolito. And tell us I think you have a fastball changeup thing that you're showing here. Explain this.
All right. So this was a fastball and changeup. I was trying to show the speed differential, kind of how they come out of the same tunnel. And this is actually his mechanics totally overlaid with himself. And you can see how he doesn't change at all. I had actually sent that to Lucas, and he was like, "Are you sure those are my mechanics and they don't change?" He said, "That's sick." And a lot of these guys don't know they do that stuff. And that's one reason why he's been so successful with that changeup.
And again, just to let people know who don't follow this a lot, if you're here at the network and you're talking to Carlos Pena all the time about effective velocity and tunneling and all that, that's the secret to it, is that it looks exactly the same, comes out the same, your eye doesn't make recognition of it, and then it does something very different, coming out of that same spot. Here's Charlie Morton. Explain a little Charlie Morton stuff here. Curveball, then fastball.
Yeah, so this was really trying to figure out why you would get a bad swing, and I call that a sword because it's kind of a half swing on the fastball. And you can see how they start out in the same tunnel, and it makes it really hard to pick up. So gets a really bad swing out on that pitch, and that shows you why, because usually hitters are on time for a fastball, and this one was kind of not so much.
Rob, that blew my mind. I didn't even see the curveball. All right, so this is an overlay again. Can we show that again, guys? Where watch the curveball drop, and then the other pitch stays at the plane. So watch the curveball drop.
Here it goes. Ready?
There. You don't even see it. Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. All right. Dustin May has some nasty stuff. He throws 100. He's got other stuff going on. Give us Dustin May.
So same thing. Here you got his kind of a wicked two-seamer and then a slurvy type thing. And you can see why that combo will be successful for him, because he had been throwing a cutter. And I kind of like the slurvy, curvy thing that he throws. I think he calls it a curveball, but it's more of a slurve. And, he's just at the start, man. That dude is filthy as can be.
And, I mean, you're very much into the craft of pitching, clearly. And I guess that is part of it, where not just looking the same, but how pitches work in sequence. Is that kind of what you're always looking for?
100%. I mean, I think sometimes, so just showing a pitch out of sequence or just showing an individual pitch, while it may not look that nasty, sometimes it's really nasty when you combine it with the pitches that the hitter's seen before. So what I find is a lot of fans have a lot more respect for hitters because they say, oh, that's why this guy swung at that pitch. Usually they're just yelling at the TV going, why did you swing at that? So I'm trying to show a little bit why that would happen, and also teaching pitchers how to sequence better.
Right. No, that's where the rubber meets the road, and you can see that with the Dustin May pitch as well. How you could, it would, those pitches specifically, one after another, would be devastating. All right, Shohei Ohtani, he's got to be a favorite of yours. Give us Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, dude, this was sick. So he threw one of the nastiest splitters I have ever seen in this game, and this is just spring training. So I overlaid his splitter, his slider, and his fastball to kind of see what kind of effect that would have on a hitter. So you're throwing 100 miles an hour. You have a just wicked splitter that drops out of the zone that ends up at the ankles right there, and then the slider that breaks away. And sometimes I put tails on the pitches and stop them like that so you can see what a hitter has to deal with. It's kind of like a triangle of death there. You're guessing fastball, and if you don't get a fastball, you're kind of hosed.
Mm-hmm. This is fascinating. All right, Marcus, we have one more example. Marcus Stroman, explain what we have here.
So Stro has invented a new changeup for himself, and it is more of like a split change that he got from Gazelman. So I wanted to show why that pitch would be successful for him this year. And so I paired it up with a sinker and to show how it kind of drops out of plane and why Brantley would swing and miss at it. I mean, that is a nasty pitch. You can see how he takes a hack and then that ball isn't there. So it was more to show Stro and to show other fans, like, you might be expecting a lot out of him this year. He's going to be nasty.
That's great stuff. Rob, how often do you hear from major league pitchers that are watching their own stuff?
I would say very regularly. I actually do interviews with them. Some ask for grip. So I will get pitchers that famously, I think Yu Darvish during the season last year asked me for Shane Bieber's knuckle curve grip and actually didn't use it as a knuckle curve. He ended up using it as a spike slider that he's going to throw this year, which is absolutely filthy. And just it's like a big community of pitchers. So I am more than happy to share with anybody because my role is to like grow the game and to help individual pitchers with their arsenal. So I love it. Like I am here for a resource for anybody. I don't charge anything because that would be, it's just not me. I just want to see everybody succeed and want to see the game grow.
Yeah, well, that's my last question. Next question. What do you want to do? I mean, clearly you have this expertise. You've developed this. What would you want to do like next? Not just to monetize it or to work with baseball or a specific club. What would you want to do?
So what I'm doing now is I'm bringing out a little bit more from players. So I think where baseball needs to market stuff is really trying to bring out the personality in individual players and show why fans should root for them. Yesterday, I put out something with Lucas Giolito speaking to a class full of inner city kids, Lost Boys. And it was great. Like he is being a normal person. He's hilarious. He's very relatable. And I think the more you see that, the more you bring out the personality of players and how nasty they are and little things that kids can aspire to and make the game accessible to everybody. I think that's how we grow the game.
All right. Excellent. Hey, Rob, best of luck. Great stuff. Continued success. We'll be watching for you this year. Pleasure to speak with you.
Great talking with you, BK.